Krishna. Welcome to Krishna Fest. Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, believed that book distribution and farms can change the world. In the words of Srila Prabhupada, book distribution and farm, he said, if I hope for still living, I wanted to organize the farms, make them perfect, simple living and high thinking. It's taken from His Holiness TKBG's diary, Prabhupada's final days. His Holiness Meghna Swami Maharaj guides us for simple living and high thinking. He has developed a sustainable farm community in Govardhan Eco Village near Wada. He has replicated not only the farm life but also replicated Vrindavan in Mumbai with all its temples and the Yamuna river also. So today I would like to shed some light on farming, not exactly farming but something relating to growing of Tulsi Maharani, one of the revered plant that we have in our houses. I am Meghna Mehta, wife of Parampara Priyadas, disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj and consortly of Rohini Nandan Prabhu and Devi Priya Mataji, and whose guidance and care I have got this opportunity to present this video to you. Thank you. So let's begin. So today I am here to present to you Tulsi Maharani, how to take care. We all have Tulsi Maharani at our house as a very respected position that Tulsi ji holds in all our households. It's not only the Hindus now, but after the pandemic that we saw since last almost 2 years now, we have been seeing that we have to have a healthy lifestyle. And to have a healthy lifestyle, we need to eat healthy and grow things in our own house. But I'm not going into that, but today our session is limited to Tulsi Maharani. We all want her to be in our house. It is a revered plant and the most beloved plant of Lord Sri Krishna. To quote from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 15, Text 19, where the description of Vaikuntha Lord goes, it is said, Mandara Kunda Kura Bhokta Champakarna Punaga Naga Bakula Ambuja Parija Gandha Rachita Tulsi Ka Bharanesha Tasat Yasman Tapa Sumananso Bahu Manyanti. The translation is, although flowering plants like Mandara, Kunda, Kurabaka, Utpala, Champak, Arna, Punaga, Nagakeshar, Bakula, Lili, Parijat are full of transcendental fragrance, they are still conscious of their austerities performed by Tulsi. For Tulsi is given special preference by the Lord, who garlands himself with Tulsi leaves. The importance of Tulsi leaves is very clearly mentioned here. Tulsi plants and the leaves are very important in devotional service. Devotees are recommended to water the Tulsi tree every day and collect the leaves to worship the Lord. So this is the importance of Tulsi Maharani as given in our own scriptures. But apart from that, as I was telling you during the pandemic, the importance has all the more grown because Tulsi ji curbs very simple ailments like cough and cold to free radicals in our body and is also been proved medically and in the laboratory and various testing. It has been proved that nuclear reactions in our body can also be observed by Tulsi leaves. So Tulsi, I begin my workshop today. It's not a workshop, it's just about how to take care because I come across many people wanting to grow Tulsi in their house and saying that it's not possible, they are not being successful. They bring numerous pots from the numerous plants and saplings from the nursery but somehow are not so successful in having the large green plant as it is. So now I'll take you to the nitty-gritties of how to take care and flourish Tulsi ji in your homes. So before I begin, I would just like to start with a small prayer to Tulsi Maharani. Vrinde Vrindavani Vishwa Pujita Vishwa Pavani Anandi Tulsi Krishna Jivini Shri Krishna Tulsi Shri Krishna Tulsi. So as the prayer says, Tulsi is Vishwa Vrinde Vrindavani. Vrindavani means one who first manifests in Vrindavan. Vishwa Pujita, one who the world and the world universe worship. Vishwa Pavani, one who purifies the universe. Anandi Tulsi, Tulsi means matchless, nothing can be compared to it. One who has no comparison. Krishna Jivini, the life of Lord Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna Tulsi, Sri Krishna Tulsi. So let's begin, and before I begin, I would like to beg forgiveness from Tulsi Maharani for any follies, for any mistakes that I do in the process today. Please forgive and let this class be successful. Thank you. Before I begin and tell you all the intricacies of how to take care and what precautions to take and what to do to have a flourishing Tulsi plant, I just want to show how to transplant it. Generally, when we get it from the nursery, we get a small plant and which grows tall like this. This is not what we exactly want. Now, this is a plant that I have got. So, how to transplant from a small pot to a bigger pot? So, first of all, what we need to do is put this pot in water so that the soil is completely wet. So it will be easier to transfer it. So I take this pot and put this entire pot in water. I've got a bucket of water here. So I'm putting this small pot in water so that it is completely submerged in water. So by the end of the class, the soil will be loose and we'll be able to transfer it better in a bigger pot, that is this one. Now let's begin with Tulsi ji. So as I was telling you, now Tulsi is the member of the most Hindu families, and now other people are also keeping it in their house for its medicinal and Ayurvedic properties. However, and also another fact about Tulsi ji is that it is the most watered plant in the world. And because of that, it is also the most prone to malnutrition, and that is because of overwatering. Daily morning, it's a ritual, it's a custom to water plants, and especially Tulsi Maharani, those who worship them, they water it. And as we water it, we forget that it doesn't require so much as water. Basically, it is classified as a herb, and hence herb does not require so much of water. So what we will do, I'll just take you from the basics, from the plant that we get from the nursery. Now, when we get the plants from the nursery, it is lush green in color and very nice. But as we get it in a house and transfer it to a pot, we find the leaf starts withering. Why is it so? Now, the reason for that is that in the nurseries, when they're growing in small pot for commercial purposes, they put lots of fertilizers, and hence it is very green. And when we transfer it to our houses in the soil, the amount of fertilizer is less, and the soil is not providing it as much nutrition as the fertilizer was providing it in the nursery. So what to do? So we'll come to that. So how to grow and how and when to grow Tulsi ji. To grow, the ideal season is after the peak summer has passed in your region. It can be anywhere between 15th of April to 15th of June, depending on the places. Where there is very high temperature in the northern plains, you can wait till May or June or before the monsoon starts. Ideal time brings 15 days before the monsoon starts. If in your place the monsoons are starting from 15th of June, the ideal time would be something 15 days ahead, so we can have some small saplings before the monsoon starts. The soil, the first thing that requires for any plant is the soil. So what is the best suited soil for Tulsi ji? Tulsi ji requires a loamy and fertile soil. Now we are growing the plant in a pot, so the amount of soil is limited. If it is in the ground, it has vast nutrition available to it. But in the pot, very soon, Tulsi ji is a heavy feeder, very soon the nutrients are used up. So we need to provide nutrition regularly and fertilize it regularly every month. I'll be coming to the fertilizer part later again. The second most important thing apart from the soil is the sunlight. Ideally, 8 hours of sunlight. But that is not possible for everyone because we live in the city, especially it is not possible if we are having indoors or we are having it in a balcony. It's not possible to have continuous 8 hours depending upon the direction of our houses. So, at least even if you get 4 hours of sunlight, it is better. So, place the Tulsi Ji spot in a place where you get the maximum sunlight in your house or in your balcony or in your window. Place it over there. That is for the best growth. The third most important thing, watering. As I have been mentioning it earlier also, that watering, we tend to overwater Tulsi Maharani, and what happens, it tends to get malnutrition because of the nutrients getting washed off by excess of watering that is done to it. What is the ideal water quantity that should be used? Now, watering in a hot summer month is twice a day. We have to water at least twice a day, especially in the northern plains where the temperature goes up to 45 degrees and plus, especially near Vrindavan and all those areas. So if we have Tulsi Ji at our house, we need to water it twice. Ideal time, early morning, before the sun starts getting hot, so maybe before 8 or 9 in the morning, say from 5:36 or whatever is the ideal time, and after sunset, twice a day. Heavy monsoons, no watering required. As a ritual, we pray to Tulsi Ji in the morning so we can have some spoonful of water to it. Winter, once a day is enough. Now, when to water? To water, what we need to do, we need to have a toothpick test. The way we use it for baking, we insert the toothpick and try to find out. Similarly, for Tulsi Ji, we can have something inserted, a stick or something inserted. I may be having one over here. I'll just check. Here, I have got it one over here. So I try to remove that. So here, so this is a twig which I keep it inserted on the sides. So when I remove this from the pot, I see that the soil is clinging up to it. So the soil is wet enough. I don't require excess watering. So normal watering that I am doing is enough. If the stick comes out dry, water more, otherwise water less. So, and have the stick inserted on the side of the pot, so for you all to test it and how and when it is required. Another thing of watering, yes, this is the water test that we are required to do. And as we know, in the hot summer months, Tulsi Jaldan period is there for 1 month, where the drops of throughout the month, drops of Tulsi Ji water is been provided to Tulsi Maharani to take care of the heat and it doesn't burn. So that's not possible in our houses as such. So what to do in that case? In that case, if it is extremely hot, like the region that I stay in, I am in Dubai, so in centers like this, in the desert region, Rajasthan or Vrindavan, is extremely hot, 45 degrees centigrade plus temperatures, we need to water it thrice or even 4 times a day. But don't remember to do the stick test. Stick test is very important. So if it comes out dry, then water, otherwise no. So we will water only when the top 1 inch of the soil is dry. Next, caring about Tulsi Maharani. Now we find that when we get it and the single stick like this grow, and it just grows and it doesn't bloom sideways, and we don't get a canopy like this. So what to do? So as soon as we get Tulsi Maharani in our house, and then when we transfer, we are not going to transplant it immediately. When we get it in our house, we will let it get accustomed or assimilate to the surroundings of our house. So after say 5 or 6 days, we will place it where we want to place it. Then we will transfer from one pot to another pot, the bigger pot, and let it grow. When it has grown considerably, say like 6 to 7 inch, we start pinching the tops. When they are forming 4 and 6 pairs of leaves, when the main shoot is forming 4 to 6 pairs of leaves, we start pinching the top. So we'll have a bud over there. There's an axillary bud out there. So we will pinch that bud so that it doesn't grow any further, and then it will divert. The branch will multiply. See, if you see over here, this has been pinched, the center has been pinched over here, so we get this lateral branches and it will grow sideways. So we have the big canopy. So when we get the plant from the nursery, the manjari starts blooming within 2 or 3 months. We don't want that to happen. When the manjari starts blooming, it takes the energy from the plant and leaves doesn't bloom. What we require, Tulsi Maharani, is for the leaves to be offered to the Lord, and hence that purpose is not fulfilled. So what we need to do, we need to pinch the manjaris also and offer it to Tulsi Maharani and the soil itself. Another issue that we get is we get faded. So you may be seeing over there where there may be many faded leaves like this. So we need to have a watch, because aging is a natural process. So the leaves which would be old will age and will wilt, and the colors will change. It will become yellow in color. So regularly we need to have a lookout of such leaves, some dried twigs, and we need to pinch it off gently without hurting the Tulsi Maharani and put it back in the soil. Now, we need to replace the top 2-inch layer of the soil every year. In fact, the ideal thing is to replace the pot every year. As we know that we all grow and our children grow so fast, every year we need to replace their clothes because they outgrow the clothes. Similarly, Tulsi ji also outgrows the pot. If you find that the pot is not big enough, every year we need to change the pot. And when is that to be done? After the monsoons. That is to be done after the monsoons. Or else if you find that the pot is big enough, you don't need to change the entire pot. Only the top 2-inch layer of the soil, we'll put the compost. Homemade compost. So where to get, you can recycle your kitchen waste to make the homemade compost. How much is required? 1 fistful. Only what comes in your 1 fist, you take that and pour it on the soil. Now during very hot summers in the Gulf region or during very cold winters where it snows, we need to take Tulsi Maharani inside our house to avoid it getting burnt or get the effects of the harsh weather. Now in India we don't have such harsh weather where it doesn't snow and where the temperature doesn't reach 50 degrees centigrade. We can have it outside in the balcony, but the only precaution we need to take that by 9:30-10 when it starts getting really hot, we need to cover the pot or to cover the whole plant with a white muslin or any muslin, thin muslin cloth to prevent it from the harsh weather. So these are the cares that we need to take. Apart from that, because of the malnutrition in the soil, if the soil is malnutrition, if the soil is not healthy enough, we will have certain common pests. One is mealybugs. Now mealybugs is white cottony thing which will come up on the stem, on the leaves, etc. We have aphids. I don't have anything to show right now on my leaves. Aphids are small white thing. Or you may find that the leaves getting mosaic color, that is spider mites, or white small flies which you cannot see, but you can see white powdery thing on the top of the leaves. Now that happens because of this. So what is to be done in that? So we can have our homemade pesticides like the Dashparni herb. Now Dashparni herb is nothing, Dash as the name suggests is 10 Parni leaves. 10 leaves of 10 different trees are used to make a concoction. They are boiled together and that is sprayed on it. Or the neem bark. Neem bark is easier to make at home. You can get a handful of neem leaves, boil it in 1.5 liter of water, and that water is used to spray the leaves. You can take neem oil, say 5 ml, take few drops of soap and mix it in water. Why soap? Because oil will not mix with water. To make the oil mix with water, what we need to do, we need to add a few drops of herbal soap or dishwashing soap, and if you have lots of white flies or aphids, then you can spray your plant with that. Apart from that, you can also give a jet spray to of your plants, and if there is a problem of mealybugs, you can use sanitizer with 70% alcohol but no glycerin. What we use in our house generally have the glycerin for the moisturizer as a moisturizer. So just wet the cotton and wipe the twigs or the parts that have been infected. One very important thing, as soon as you see that Tulsi Maharani is getting affected by any of the pests, remove the leaves that are infected. Now this is a dry leaf which has grown old and just saw it and I just removed it. Whatever, now this infected leaves are to be thrown in your dustbin, not in the pot, otherwise it will spread like anything. Then we have fungal. Sometimes we find white color spots, black color spots on the leaf, and the leaves gets burned from the sides. Why that happen? Now Tulsi Maharani is to be watered from the roots. We will not pour water from the top. What happens when we pour water from the top? The leaves gets droplets of water on it, and when the sun shines on that water, it burns the leaf. Hence the brown color on the leaves. So we are to be very careful to water only the roots of the plant. Now another yellow spots comes, black spots comes. So these are all types of different types of disease. So whenever you find any plant, any leaves infected, or you find that the leaves has started discoloring, now this leaf has started discoloring, means it has aged, simply it has aged. So if you find that there's a white powdery thing or some insect or something, then throw it in the dustbin or else put it back in Tulsi ji. Now the black spots and the different color spots are generally because of water, damp, because of the damp condition around it for a long period of time. Another is the bacterial leaf spots that we get. They are dark water-colored spots. Now they progresses as the plants experience, and it results in the stem rot and poor growth of the plant. So for that also the reason is moisture and humidity. So the remedy for all kinds of spots that you get on the leaves, may it be brown, yellow, red, black, is to reduce moisture and humidity. We have to water the plant at the base and provide enough space between each plant. Each Tulsi pot should have only one plant. The most of the reason for the leaves getting this color or different types of color, yellow color is aging. Apart from that, as a young plant in the yellow color is happening, the main reasons are humid moist conditions, it spreads when the water splashes, and the bacterial infection gets infected on it. So that's the main reason for it. So here I have told you everything about it, and yes, now we come to the fertilizer part. Now fertilizer, of course, again the organic, the best fertilizer for Tulsi Maharani is the cow dung cake. We need to give it. Now fertilizer, I believe, should, or every month or every 15 days as per the requirement of your plant and the pot size and the soil that goes in it, we need to change it. It's simple, like if we are to say, suppose eat potato sabzi every day, will we like it? Our favorite may be potato, but if we are given potato sabzi and we like, mom, what are you doing? Or our children will just shout at us. So we need to give variety. So similarly, I prefer giving variety of fertilizers. So first, cow dung cake. Another is spent or used tea leaves. Those who drink tea in the house can, after drinking tea, what is left in the sieve, the tea leaves, they can wash it off, because it should not have any trace of sugar. It should be without sugar. Or you can have tea bags. Those who do not drink tea can have tea bags from their house and just cut it open, have it. So now for the plant size like this, I will have 3 to 4 tea leaves and just pour it at the base of the roots, at the base of the plant on the pot. Apart from that, fruit and vegetable waste. Now, whatever fruit in there, suppose if you have had grapes today, so you have this grape, or you have a banana skin, you had banana, then you can have dried banana skins. You can just use any fruit or any fruit peel or vegetable peel that you have used for the day. You can just put it on the plant like that, or you can cut it into small pieces and pour it. Now this vegetable and fruit waste and the peels gives the macro and the micro nutrients to the plant slowly and steadily. So continuous supply. So one very important thing, when potting the tulsi, we'll have 2 inches. So this is the plant, so I'll have the soil only till here. So every month when I'm providing fertilizer, this is placed. Slowly when it dries, it goes down. Apart from that, I can also have the flowers. What I offer to the Lord, I have in the house, so I can also dry the flowers. And every day is if you don't know what to do with the flowers, you can put it on your plants as it is. That also provides nutrients to the natural nutrients to the plant. But whatever you use, apart from tea, coffee concoction can also be used. If you drink coffee, you can have coffee grounds, that is in the case of filter coffee. But when we don't drink coffee, so you can get that 1 rupee pouch and mix it with water. How much tea and how much water and coffee? Then it would be 1/5 coffee and 4/5 of water. Use that water to water the plants once in 3 weeks. So that should be enough. So every 3 weeks you should give some kind of fertilizer. But remember, start slow. Start with small quantities. Check how the plant responds. Is it acceptable? After 4-5 days, you will come to know whether the plant has responded or not. So accordingly, provide fertilizer to the plant. So that was all about Tulsi Maharani, taking care, etc. And now I will just demonstrate how to transfer it into a bigger pot. So now I have already put my small pot bought from the nursery. I don't know where, a friend who has just left the country gave it to me, and I put it in the bucket of water. Now I want to transplant it into a bigger pot. So first I line the pot with, you can line it with stones or anything. I have got dried mango seeds. So I'm lining the bottom of my pot with the dried mango seeds. I'm having one stick at the corner, at the edge. This is a neem plant. So this branches I will cut off and put it inside. So it will provide nutrition as and when required to the plant. This stick I am keeping at the corner. So that will act as my test for water, whether the soil is dry or not. I can have fresh green things. Now this fresh leaves or something, some dried things from the kitchen. I will just pour it at the bottom. Some dried leaves, some dried neem leaves, so that it doesn't have, now it is already dried, so I can crumple them all in a powder and place it at the bottom of my pot. Some dried flowers. Now the soil. Now I have got the soil ready. Now soil can be 1 part of your soil, any soil that is available locally to you. 1 part of coco peat, this is also available in the market, and 1 part of cow dung. This also you need to soak in water. Once soak in water, it will be very, it won't be so hard, it will be soft. And the tea leaves and all, if you want, not now, but after say a month or so, we can use it. So all dried things goes at the bottom of the pot initially. Then I cover it with a layer of soil. So I take some soil and cover it nicely with the soil which has been soaked. Now when is this to be done? This has to be done at sunset. So now you see my pot is with soil. Now I transfer this plant. It has been soaked in water. So the soil is very moist, so it will be easy for me to transfer. Very gently, I press the side and you see the whole thing comes out. This goes for any plant transplant, have to be very, very careful and delicate plant. Yeah, I put it, place it inside. Now everything was, some dried leaves and everything was given on the top. I place it right in the center. Now, if I want the same soil, it's fine. If I want to change the soil, I put it back in the water and wash off all the soils and only transfer the plant. But I don't want, because it's good enough. So I just place it in the center. That's my soil testing thing. Now, I put soil all around. So I cover it with soil. And then I leave some place, from this soil, but I have to be careful that I don't damage the root. Now the soil which I am loosening from the top hasn't any roots in it, so it's fine. But if roots are there, we have to be sure that not to damage the roots. So I am loosening the soil so it gets assimilated all through. So I have mixed it with my soil and I am leaving about this much place from the top not covering it from the top. Now I need, the weather is very hot, so I will mulch it. I can mulch it with some dry leaves or dry flower petals so that the soil remains moist and wet. It does not dry off. I can mulch it with dried neem leaves. So the neem leaves will provide protection to it. So that's how my potting has been done. Now I have to keep some support to it. So that was all about Tulsi Maharani, and I hope if you have any queries, you can contact me or you can contact the Govardhan Eco Village. So where we have constant and regular workshops for the same, so we can help you out. So that was all about Tulsi Maharani. Hope I am able to answer most of your queries regarding it. Another thing I wanted to say, when the plant has bloomed and you find there are a lot of leaves and cannot be done, we can just simply shake the plant sometime like this. So if any flies are there, any insects are there, or any dried leaves are there, unhealthy leaves will fall off. See, some of the unhealthy leaves fall off. So that's perfectly fine. We can put it back on the soil. So thank you very much. And before, I would just like to thank Tulsi Maharani for giving me this opportunity, and I hope I have not hurt her. And I would just like to say the importance, as we all know, and there's one shloka we say, Yani kani chapa pani brahma hatyadi kani cha tani tani pranaya shanti pradakshina pade pade. When we circumambulate around Tulsi Maharani plant, all our sins, the greatest of all, that is the sin of killing a Brahman Hatya, may also be nullified if we have our faith and devotion with Tulsi Maharani. Thank you. Hare Krishna.